Hello students, welcome to RD Chemistry. In the previous video, I had explained some of the important formula list in the second PUC chemistry. Now in this video, I will write some important first PUC chemistry formula. And in the next video, I'll be making the different types of the graphs that are appeared in the NCERT textbook. So we'll start now. So I'll start with the basics now, very basic. So we have got 1 liter is equal to 1000 cm cube, right? Which is also equal to 1000 ml, 1000 ml, which is also called as the 1 dm cube, decimeter cube, which is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube. And 1 meter cube is equal to 10 to the power 6 in terms of centimeter cube. Okay, right? Now, we have got 1 atm, 1 atmosphere is equal to 760 in terms of torr. 760 torr we have got. Or is equal to 760 mm of mercury, which is equal to 76 centimeter mercury. Also, 1 atm in terms of pascals is equal to 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 pascals. Okay, and remember 1 bar is equal to 10 to the power 5 pascals. So I can write 1 atmosphere is also equal to 1.013 bar in terms of bar, because 1 bar is equal to 10 to the power 5, which means 1 atmospheric pressure is greater compared to 1 bar pressure. Okay, so we can convert a degree Fahrenheit into degree centigrade or degree centigrade into degree Fahrenheit. So it is a 9 by 5 times degree centigrade, then to that you add 32, right? Clear? Now, how do you calculate average atomic mass? Average atomic mass generally calculated for isotopes. If I take chlorine 35 and chlorine 37, mass numbers are different, but atomic numbers are same. Suppose chlorine 35 exists to the extent of 75% and say chlorine 37 to the extent of 25%. Then how to calculate average atomic mass for isotopes? Okay, it is a percentage into the mass number 35 plus 25% into the mass number 37, and total percentage should be always 100, right? So this will give 35.5, and that is the atomic mass of the chlorine that we take. We take a fraction, right? You know how to calculate number of moles. Number of moles are equal to given mass in terms of grams divided by molar mass, right? Divided by molar mass, molecular mass, or atom mass in terms of gram per mole, correct? Now it is also equal to, if they give volume, given volume in terms of cm cube divided by 22,710 cm cube at STP, correct? Or is equal to, if they give in terms of meter cube or into liters or liter, so volume in terms of liter, given volume in terms of liter divided by 22.71 liters at STP, correct? Or if they give in terms of molecules, given number of molecules, given number of molecules divided by the Avogadro number of molecules, 6.023 into 10 power 3. So these are different ways of expressing the moles, right? 1 AMU, atomic mass unit, is equal to 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. Then 2 into vapor density is equal to molecular mass. Okay, this is required to find out the empirical formula molecular mass relationship. Okay, so we can write molecular mass equivalent to molecular formula right now. Molecular formula is equal to the empirical formula into n times. Now how to calculate n value? N is equal to, so this is the molar mass that will be given divided by the empirical mass, which you have to calculate empirical mass. Okay, right? Yeah. Then remember the dilution formula. Dilution formula. You know how to write, calculate molarity, molality, mole fraction. Already explained in the second PUC. So dilution formula you'll have to remember. What will happen when the dilution take place and what will be the final concentration. So they use make use of V1 M1 is equal to V2 M2 M2 or V2. So this is the before dilution and this will be the after dilution. Okay, after dilution, right? From structure of atom, you have got formula like C is equal to nu lambda, correct? And nu bar wave number is equal to 1 by lambda. This is the wave number. Remember, student, this is the wave number. Very important one also. Okay. Then we have formula E is equal to h nu from the Planck's um, quantum theory. Or we can also write h is into nu is equal to c divided by lambda. And also near the 1 by lambda nu bar, I can also write c hc into nu bar I can write. Okay, so there is a constant now. So c is equal to velocity like 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Okay, and the h value, the Planck's constant value 6.625 into 10 to the power minus 34 in terms of joules a second. Correct. Then you have got Einstein equation for the photoelectric effect. Einstein equation for the photoelectric effect. Okay, photoelectric. Can you recall that one now? Photoelectric effect. H nu is equal to work function W naught plus the kinetic energy, correct, of the electron. So H nu is equal to H nu naught, threshold frequency nu naught plus kinetic energy can also be written the half mv square if required to calculate. Okay, so I can calculate a nu bar of the spectral lines is equal to 1 by lambda is equal to Rydberg constant RH into Z square into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square, correct? In terms of meter inverse. What is RH? RH is the Rydberg constant 1.096 into 10 power 7 meter inverse. I have written the meter inverse, can also written centimeter inverse, 10 to the power 5 centimeter inverse come. And what does that stand for? That stands for the atomic number of the element. What is the N1 and N2 respectively? These are the shell numbers for Lyman, Balmer series, all those things. Different numbers for different series. Okay, that you have to remember. Clear? Then you have got a de Broglie equation. De Broglie's equation. We have got the lambda, de Broglie wavelength lambda is equal to h divided by the momentum p, which is equal to h divided by mass into velocity, or is also equal to h divided by, in terms of kinetic energy, we can also write down 2 into mass into the kinetic energy of that object or particle. Okay. Then we have got Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Okay. Let me write this much. Delta x into delta p greater than equal to h divided by 4 pi. Correct. So delta x into you know that momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Mass is a constant. Velocity changes. So greater than equal to h divided by 4 pi. Clear? We have the radius of the shell. Okay, radius of the any shell, radius of the shell, radius of the orbit. Okay, let me write Rn is equal to 0.529 in terms of n square. N square, n stand for the shell number divided by z, z for the atomic number, in terms of angstrom units, which can be converted if required picometer, nanometers, meters, all those things. So energy of the initial is given by the formula minus 13.6 divided by n square into z square. When I say z, it can be for different atoms. That is the atomic number in terms of electron volt it is. Or we can have different formula. So it is minus 1312 divided by n square into z square. This in terms of kilojoule per mole comes. Remember, per mole. Otherwise, in terms of per atom. Okay. Then also we have got energy of the initial is equal to minus 2.179 into 10 to the power minus 18 divided by n square into z square in terms of joules. Okay, in terms of joules. That means joules per atom. It is here. It is a electron volt per atom. Okay, clear, right? How to calculate the formal charge of the any atom is equal to, this is the valence electrons of the free atom, valence electron in the free atom, minus the total number of electrons in unshared pairs, unshared electron. That means the electrons that are present in the lone pair. Altogether, how many electrons are the lone pair? When you say pair, two electrons. Okay, two electrons are there. Pair, two electrons. Total number you have to count. Okay, minus half into the total number of electrons, in the bonding pair of electron. When I say bonding pair of electron, which are there in the bonds, total number of bonds into 2 you have to do. Okay, right? Now, how to calculate the hybridization of the central atom generally? Central atom, okay? So, this is not in the textbook actually, but is required to predict the hybridization. This is a technique. So, we can make it on formula half into the valence electrons, number of valence electrons in the central atom plus the number of monovalent atom, that is the number of monovalent surrounding atoms, minus C stands for the charge. If there is a charge, for example, sulfate has got, okay, 2 charge, minus 2. So minus C means minus of minus 2 plus 2 becomes. Then H3O plus 1, correct? Hydronium ion. Minus C means minus of 1. Clear? So this can be used. Suppose you get this H value is equal to, it starts from 2, 3, 4 and goes on like this. If it is 2, it is sp, 3 sp2 hybridized and 4 sp3 hybridized. If there is a 5, sp3 dehybridized and goes on 6 octahedral, sp3d, all those things. Okay. Also remember sp is the linear, sp is the trigonal, sp3 tetrahedral, sp3d is sp3d trigonal bipyramidal it is. From the states of matter, we have got Boyle's law. In case of Boyle's law, we have got, I'll write the formula directly. P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 at constant temperature, right? At constant temperature. Then we have got Charles' law. According to Charles' law, we have got V1 divided by T1 is equal to V2 divided by T2 at constant pressure. Then you have got Gay-Lussac's law. Where P1 divided by T1 is equal to P2 divided by T2 at constant volume. Then you have got density formula. Density is equal to Pm divided by RT. Okay, right? And we have got the ideal gas equation PV is equal to nRT, or combined gas equation using all the above laws. Okay. Then we have got kinetic energy of the gas, per mole 3 by 2 RT. Okay. So this is always per mole, it is per mole of the gas, right? We have got compressibility factor. This will be remembered, compressibility factor. So we have got Z is equal to PV divided by nRT for n moles of the gas, or this simply per mole PV is equal to RT. When we have got Z is equal to one value, this is for the always ideal gas. And you know that ideal gas do not exist. Z can be greater than 1, Z can be less than 1. So we tell this is a non-ideal gas, or we call it the real gases behavior. So greater 1 means is a positive deviation from the ideal behavior, and less than 1 means a negative deviation from the ideal behavior. Okay, right? From thermodynamics, we have got first law thermodynamics, that is a delta U is equal to Q plus W, correct? Then you have got work done during isothermal reversible process. During reversible process, we have the formula W is equal to minus 2.303 nRT log of V2 divided by V1, correct? You know the isothermal condition, temperature constant for gases. P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Boyle's law, correct? So I can replace this one as W is equal to minus 2.303 nRT log of P1 divided by P2 it becomes. Same thing we have got for work done during a irreversible process. Irreversible. That is, a W is equal to minus P external, pressure externally, and difference in the volume V2 minus V1 during compression or expansion. Okay. Then you have got enthalpy H is equal to U plus P into V. Okay. Or delta H is equal to delta U plus difference in pressure into volume work. Okay, or the different types of variation W delta H is equal to delta U internal energy plus okay PV is equal to RT, correct? And for N moles of the gas we take a delta Ng if it is a reaction. If the reaction chemical reaction taking place, then I can write delta Ng is equal to number of moles of the product minus number of moles reactant only for gas. The difference you have to take. Okay, right? Or sometimes we might need delta H is equal to delta U plus P2 minus P2 into V2 minus P1 into V1. Okay, right? We have delta S entropy change is equal to amount of heat absorbed or liberated per okay temperature. That's the temperature absolute scale. And also we have got delta G gives free energy change is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Okay. Whether the reaction is spontaneous, non-spontaneous can be calculated. Delta G naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. Log K. Okay. It can be Kc, Kp, equilibrium constant. Okay, you know that if delta G naught is equal to 0, it is a spontaneous process. If delta G is equal to negative quantity, sorry, delta G is 0, it is a at equilibrium state. Delta G negative means spontaneous process, and delta G is equal to positive means it is a non-spontaneous process. Okay, right? Then we have got from the equilibrium chapter, one of the important chapter which connects the chemical kinetics and other chapters. Okay. So there we have got Kc, the equilibrium constant Kc is equal to can be written as the rate constant of the forward reaction divided by rate constant of the backward reaction. Okay. Then we also got Kp. Kp is equal to Kc into RT to the power delta N. And delta N as usual, that number of moles of the product minus number of moles of the reactant for the gases only we take here. Okay. Then if we come across the ionic equilibrium, H plus concentration into OH minus concentration will be equal to 10 to the power minus 14 at 25 degrees centigrade. Remember 25 degree for dilute solution. Remember these are dilute solution, not highly concentrated, not highly diluted, sorry, not for concentrated solution. Okay. Now we have, instead of writing a H plus, we can also write down hydronium H3O plus into the OH minus concentration is equal to 10 to the power minus 14. And from this we have got pH plus POH is equal to 14 at 25 degrees centigrade. Now what is pH? pH is equal to minus log of H plus concentration. Similarly, POH is equal to minus log of the OH minus concentration. Okay. We also have got Ka and Kb. Okay. So we can go for what is Ka? Dissociation constant of acid A, and Kb dissociation constant of the base. So I can go for pKa just like pH is equal to minus log of Ka. pKb is equal to minus log of Kb. Okay, right? Now, this pKa plus pKb is equal to 14, and Ka into Kb is also equal to Kw, which is equal to 10 to the power minus 14, right? Clear? Now, remember, as the K value is large or pKa value is small, The acid is always stronger acid. Do the reverse way around. Or Ka value is smaller or pK value is greater, that means that acid is a weaker acid. Weak acid. This is to compare the acidic nature, whether they are strong acid or weak acid, when the two values are given. Right? For weak acids and bases, especially we have got for weak acid and bases, we have, okay, H plus concentration is equal to C into alpha, okay, or H plus concentration is also equal to the square root of Ka into C. What is C stand for? Concentration. What is alpha? Alpha is the degree of dissociation, or alpha can also be calculated as the square root of Ka divided by C. Similarly, you can also write for the bases. So replace A by B then. That's it. Okay, clear? Fine. And finally, we have got the last one, the important one is the solubility product. So we can derive different types of the formula. So KSP stand for the solubility product it is. Now we have got different types of the salt, like AB type salt, like a silver chloride salt. For that, KSP is equal to S square. Suppose it is a A2B type salt or AB2 type of salt, then KSP is equal to 4S to the power 3. Okay. So we can go on deriving actually all these things. So that is required to solve the problem. Either the KSP value or the S value. So you have to find out the other way around. Okay. Clear? Yeah. That is all for this video. If you like this video, please do subscribe and share, and please write down the comments. Thank you. Have a nice day. May God bless you all. Good luck for your examination. Study well. Okay. Thank you.